Hey guys, my name's Brittany, and I'm kind of here to tell my story about treatment and my recent battle with mental health. I've been depressed since I was 9 years old. I am clinically diagnosed with major depressive disorder, high functioning anxiety, and PTSD. All of that has come to a head multiple times. I've been suicidal multiple times throughout my life. I'm not going to go through my whole life story. I've been through it so many times with so many doctors and therapists that I'm just too tired to tell it. But I do want to tell my treatment story and to let you guys know that there is hope and that you're not alone and that really there's not something wrong with you just because you're depressed. So I guess I want to start off with kind of when I knew I needed to get help. June of 2019, I was on my ship. I'm in the Navy, and I was on my ship and I dislocated my shoulder. And that night I dislocated my shoulder. Someone in my own division, I'm in medical getting my shoulder put back into place, and someone in my own division says to someone, "Oh, she was working out in the gym." And that moment I knew, I didn't know, but I felt like no one in my division had my back. And, I'm not really, I guess I'm kind of awkward, and I didn't really fit in very well with my division or the people on my ship. I was a loner. I was a loner in high school, I was a loner in middle school, elementary school, always have been. Do I really enjoy being a loner? No, but it's just kind of how things worked out. So I dislocate my shoulder and I get taken off the ship for 3 weeks. My ship went to Portland for Fleet Week, and when my ship got back, I was only on board for one day. I was going on leave for my cousin's wedding and a funeral. And that day, I noticed that I didn't know for sure, but I felt like there was some resentment against me because I'd missed this really big inspection and I was off the ship for 3 weeks and I had been out of my division for 3 months because I was cranking, and then I was on leave. So I basically was out of my division for 4 months and I was off the ship for a month. And when I came back to work, I felt like I wasn't wanted there. I felt like I didn't belong there. I felt like I shouldn't exist. I had also just picked up rank. I had just made second class off the exam, and I'd only been in for like a year and a half or something. And a lot of people resented me for that too. They didn't think I deserved it. I was surprised that I got it. I really didn't think I would. But I did well on the exam and I knew my job, and that's what happened. But I had let my weight get out of control, so I had failed my PRT. So I had to wait to wear my rank for a couple months. And I knew people were judging me for that. I knew people were talking shit like, "Oh, gold is, she's this, she's that, whatever." But let me tell you something. I was in that gym every goddamn day working my ass off to get my second class. No matter what anyone says, I worked my ass off for that. And that was really the only thing that kept me going. Because that summer, 2019, we were underway almost the whole summer. And going in the gym was the only thing that kept me going, because I had a really great mentor, SH1 Jackson, and he was in there working out with me. He made me feel like I wasn't alone, because on that ship I felt completely alone. I felt like I could go overboard and no one would even notice. And that was really hard for me. being underway is stressful enough. But being on the ship, those underways, and just, maybe it was just my anxiety, but I really felt like I was not wanted around and that it didn't matter to anyone. And that really started to get to me. You know, I had already been struggling with depression, like I said, my whole life, and I had never asked for help. I had never tried to deal with anything that had happened to me in the past. You know, before I was even in the Navy, I had PTSD, and I was depressed, and I had anxiety. But I'd never gone for help, and I'd never gone to a doctor, because there's no way I could have been depressed, right? I'm just not strong enough, or I'm just stupid, or whatever, which isn't true. It's not. So, that summer of 2019, just things got so bad. And, you know, we get back and I go on leave. I go home to my mom's in Iowa. And everyone was mad that I took leave again, but I had a baby niece I wanted to meet. And while I was there, my girlfriend of 2 years, we broke up. So that just kind of added more to me struggling so much. So it finally came up, and it was around September, I was starting to feel really bad, like suicidal. And I didn't think I'd see Halloween. I honestly swear to God I would not be here right now if you asked me a year ago. If you asked me a year and a half ago now. So October of 2019, I called Fleet and Family Support Center. And for those of my military people or dependents, if you don't know, you can call Fleet and Family Support Center and you can get free counseling sessions. And it's really easy. You just call them, make an appointment. All you have to do is go to the office, you fill out a couple pieces of paperwork, and you can see a licensed therapist. Well, when I made this appointment, I told my chain of command and I said, hey, I have a counseling appointment. And they said, you need to cancel it. But the wait lists for these appointments are long. They're months long. You know, I made an appointment for October 4th, September 1st. And I said I wouldn't reschedule it. And they said, no, you have to. You have to reschedule it. And I said, I really don't want to. Like, I can't. Like, I cannot keep going the way I'm going, and I need help. So I won't reschedule it. And they said, well, you're screwing over your division. And I said, okay. And I took that. And as it kept getting closer, they're like, we need you to go to a gun shoot. And I said, you know, I don't want to go shoot a weapon. You know, I'm not in a good mental state for that. Sorry, lighting's bothering me. I'm not in a good mental state for that, but I go to the gun shoot. After working all day, I go to a night gun shoot. So I'm tired, I'm angry, I just don't want to be there anymore. After a couple hours of sleep, I go to work the next day. And I say, hey, don't forget, you know, I have my counseling appointment tomorrow. I was on duty, and my duty section said, yes, go ahead. My senior chief comes to me and says, no, you can't go, you need to go to a gun shoot. And I said, I'm not going to change it. But of course, he brings this up in front of my entire division. He says, no, you have to go. And I said, no, senior, I will not go to the gun shoot. I am going to my counseling appointment. And he says, I'll never forget it. He says, all right, well, you can apologize to your duty section when they're screwed over for watches. I hurt. I really hurt. So, you know, next day comes around, October 4th, and I go to my counseling appointment. And let me tell you, I was shaking. I was terrified because I knew I was depressed. I knew I was in a bad place. I knew that they were going to tell me that I'm not in a good headspace. And I knew they were going to tell me I was depressed. But as long as I didn't hear someone say that, I could deny it still. I could say I was okay. So I went in there. She called me upstairs and I gave her my life story. And she says, well, based off of the things you have said, you need to go get further evaluated by a military doctor. Because based on some of the things they said, well, that I had said, it gave the impression that I was a danger to myself. So the next day I went to the MHOOD clinic, which is I don't remember what it is, but for my San Diego sailors, the MHOOD clinic is a mental health clinic. It's on the hill behind the commissary. It's walk-in based. You can go whenever. I'm going to post a link to their Facebook page so you can get the phone number and the hours. If you need help, you can go there too. That's also a resource. So I come back and I tell my chain of command, I have to go to the mental health clinic at 08. And they said, can't you just wait? And I was not given a choice. I had no choice. I had to go. And again, I hit a wall with my command. Throughout the process of getting help, I had no support from the people in my command that could make decisions. I had support from my OPOs. I had support, from the people I was close with on the ship, but from the people that could make decisions and I guess mattered in my chain of command, I did not have support from, and it was hard. I felt like I had to fight them the whole way, and I felt like I was a burden on them. So I went, to this mental health clinic, and they asked me all these questions, and they go, well, here's the thing. You're really depressed and you really, really need help. So we're going to send you to another doctor to see if medication's going to be good for you, see if you'll need to go on limited duty and whatnot. Because I was completely honest. I was in a place where I was thinking of suicide. I was thinking of self-harming. And I was completely honest for the first time in my life about any of that. So the very next day, I go get evaluated by a psychiatrist. And again, my chain of command was like, well, can you reschedule it? Do you really have to go? I didn't have a choice. I really did not have a choice. So I go to the psychiatrist, and my initial evaluation lasted 2.5 hours. And I just cried a lot because I was completely honest with things that had happened to me, how I was feeling, and that I felt like there was no hope for me, that I had no motivation to get up in the morning, and that honestly, at that point in time, I wished when I went to bed that I wasn't going to wake up again. And that's really, really, really scary. And I just said I need help. Well, I was supposed to go on deployment in 3 months, and I said, can you make me better in 3 months? Because I'm supposed to go on deployment. And my psychiatrist laughed at me. And I knew that there was no way I was going on deployment after I said that, but honestly, I know a lot of people probably said, I left, oh, she's just trying to get out of deployment, because it was 3 months before deployment that I went to get help. But I had to get help because I knew if I went on deployment, I was not going to come back. And it wasn't going to be because we were in war. It wasn't going to be because of an accident. It was because I wouldn't be able to make it through with myself. It was a matter of life or death for me. And I know if I went on that deployment, I would not be alive right now. So my psychiatrist says I'm putting you on limited duty for 6 months. What that means, I need to be taken off the ship. And that was the biggest thing. He wanted me off the ship as soon as possible because the ship for me was a really bad environment. It was really toxic. It was really hard. And, you know, maybe that was because of me. Maybe I just couldn't handle it or whatever. I mean, my therapist would tell me not to say that, but the ship was a really bad place for me. So, you know, they get me off the ship and I go to hold and I wait to get limited duty orders. Getting off the ship was a struggle, though, because, well, people were sitting on my temporary duty orders to get off the ship. So I finally get my limited duty orders, check off the ship, and I start my treatment. And what my treatment consisted of is therapy twice a week, therapy clinics 3 times a week, my psychiatrist every couple weeks, and group therapy twice a week. That's a lot. That is a lot. And I was terrified to go to every single one. I'm very lucky. I have an absolutely amazing therapist. She is amazing. She really is. But the thing with the Navy is you have to go with certain therapists within TRICARE. If you need therapy, you can go to Mood Clinic and you can look on a website and you can choose your therapist. They will refer you to a therapist the day you go there. They'll probably refer you to a psychiatrist as well. And they'll give you resources. Not everyone's treatment is as intense. Some people don't get put on limited duty, but they will give you resources to help you get better. So, you know, I start my limited duty. I have to tell everyone my life story over and over and over again, and that was exhausting. It was absolutely exhausting. And I felt like there was something wrong with me. I felt stupid. I felt weak. I felt defeated that I needed this much help, that I was this bad. You know, I got started on medication, and it was really hard. Like, I didn't see a difference for months. And I mean, I'm still going to my therapist twice a week. I can't go to my other treatments right now because of Corona, but I was working really, really hard in like my recreational therapy. I was so scared shitless to go. I was so anxious that I didn't go to 3 of my original appointments because I was terrified. What if people judge me? What if they look at me weird? What if I'm not enough? What if they look at me and be like, oh, like, how is she even in the Navy? Look at, like, she's so fat. Like, why does that even matter? But that's what I was thinking. And that's what I couldn't get out of my head. You know, and the command I got put at, my whole job turned into my appointments and taking care of myself. And I'm going to tell you, when I first started therapy, I was not really doing what they told me to do. I was still sleeping all day. I was eating like crap. I wasn't taking it seriously. It was my own life, and I wasn't taking it seriously. And then New Year's happened. And I spent my New Year's crying for hours by myself. That is how I rang in 2020. And that night I just looked in the mirror and I said, this has to stop. I'm going to give this my all because I need to get better, or I'm not going to be around anymore. And that was what I had to keep reminding myself, that if I let go and I stopped fighting, I was going to get right back to the point where I did not want to be alive. So I started taking my therapy a lot more seriously. making sure I went to all my appointments, and I was getting better. I was getting closer with my friends. I was doing well, and then coronavirus ended all of that. All of my treatment stopped very suddenly, and I have not adjusted well to that. But, you know, slowly getting my therapy back, you know, still on my medication. I'm able to call my doctor. This shit's been hard. And, I mean, really, was there a point of me talking for 20 minutes straight? I don't know. But I want to say is that you may feel defeated, you may feel numb, you may feel like there's no hope for you, or there's something wrong with you, but I need you to know, and I need you to believe me, that that is not true, okay? You have fight in you, and I know you do. I know that you do, because if I did, when all I wanted to do was die, you do too. It may be a tiny little flame or a little spark in you, but you have it, and I believe in you, okay? If you need help, there are so many resources for military. You know, we have Fleet and Family, we have Military One Source, we have the MHOOD Clinic for my San Diego sailors. You know, go to your medical. I didn't go to my medical because I was completely uncomfortable talking to them about anything or getting seen by them in general. Talk to someone. Talk to me. I'll put a link to my Insta and my TikTok. My DMs are open on both of those. If you need someone to talk to, you can talk to me. You guys, you're not alone. And I know shitty stuff has happened to a lot of people. And it's not right. And it shouldn't have happened. But you didn't deserve it. And it's not your fault. It's not your fault. You didn't choose to have depression. You didn't choose for someone to hurt you. You didn't choose this. And it is not your fault. I thought that for the longest time. I thought if I deserved better, I would have gotten better. I thought if there wasn't something wrong with me, I wouldn't have gotten bullied in school, or there has to be something wrong with me. I don't have any friends. You know, there has to be something wrong with me. Why are my own parents treating me this way? I love my parents. I love my mom and dad. But I had some not so great step-parents. My stepmom, my ex-stepmom, thank God, my ex-stepmom is a big part of why I have PTSD and why I'm depressed and why I was in high school. She is the reason I attempted suicide my junior year. But you know what? She has no power over me anymore. And whatever your demons are, or whatever that person is that hurt you, they have no power over you. And it's okay to choose you. It's okay to cut people out of your life because they are not good for you. You know, one of my favorite quotes I've ever heard is, everyone has a little bit of save the world in them. And it's okay if the only person you save is yourself. And I'm proud of myself for where I am right now. I am proud of myself that some days I go whole days without even noticing this black cloud that has followed me since I was 9 years old. Maybe even longer. Don't be ashamed of getting help, okay? Don't be ashamed if people are gonna judge you. Like for me, getting help, I had heard of people getting help on my own ship that got taken off my ship, and everyone jumped down their throats. Everyone talked shit about them. Everyone said they were a piece of shit and they were a wimp and whatever. But you know what? I'd rather people talk shit about me and me still be alive than me be dead. Because that's the point where it was. And if you feel like no one's going to support you, I mean, I definitely struggled with not having the support I needed. I support you. I know you can do it. I know you're going to kick ass. You know? And that first step is fucking terrifying. Okay, trust me. I called and hung up to schedule the appointment for my first counseling appointment probably 50-something times. Like, I am not joking. I was so scared. But I am sitting here to tell you I'm a survivor. And I'm fighting. And I'm not going to stop. Because I deserve better, and you deserve better, and world may not be easy. You know, life may not be easy, and things may not always be perfect, but you do deserve light, and you do deserve happiness, and there's always fucking hope. And there's always a fight in you. Because, like, shit hurts. But you're not weak. You're not a failure. You're not... There's not something wrong with you. And there's not something wrong with me, even though I've thought that for most of my life. Pain happens. But you can get through it. It's hard. Some days for me, I don't even have the effort to get out of bed or drink water or eat or breathe. I have shitty ass days. I'm still struggling and I'm still fighting and I'm not through this yet. But I'm a lot better than I used to be. Some days your demons win. But those are only some days. You can win. And your life's gonna be better. You know, just always gonna remind yourself it's gonna be good. Life is gonna be good someday. And you and I are not the things that have happened to us or the people that have hurt us. And, you know, as much as I want to say I can forgive the people that hurt me, most of them I can. And I know it's the right thing to forgive people, but I'm not at that place yet. Right now I'm still angry. I'm still mad that someone broke me and that no one believed me. Until now. I'm still mad that they're getting away with a bunch of shit. But I'll get there someday too. Because that part of my life is over. It's done. They can't hurt me anymore. And that's been a big thing for me. Is being afraid. I have really bad nightmares every night about this person. But in the end, this is my life. And I can either choose to hide in fear and let it control me, or I can choose to fight. And I know it's hard. I know you don't want to fight, and I am fucking exhausted, and I am tired. of fighting, but I am not going to give up. And I hope the same for you. You can do this, and you are worthy, and you are loved, and I believe in you. It was terrifying, and it's still scary, and I'm still dealing with a lot of shit. I don't know if this video was pointless or not, or if it's gonna help anyone. But we can do this. Thanks for listening to my rant. I don't need, like, I was all over the place, and I'm sorry. I just want to help. Alright. You got this, okay?